Hey everybody, Ryan here. I'm coming at you with a film review of The Hunger Games. I know a lot of you have probably been wondering where I've been. Well, work's been really busy, and so I'm coming at you with a film review. And my schedule's starting to thin out a little bit again, and so I'm starting out this week with reviews. So, if you don't know, which I don't know if there's anybody on this earth who hasn't even heard of The Hunger Games, but The Hunger Games is a film based off the novel by Suzanne Collins, and it was written for young adults in particular, but it has been praised and read by um, adults, older adults, children. I think have read it, but it is a the story takes place in a dystopian to society, which I really love anything that has to do with anything around that subject. And it's about every year the society, as penance for an uprising that happened, they choose a certain amount of children or from like teenagers to go play the Hunger Games, which is kind of like a fight till the death kind of thing, and there's always one winner at the end. And that premise has it's pretty popular in dystopian type literature and film. This really isn't the first time we've really seen this kind of thing. There's a lot of people out there that don't really care for the books or the movie because they feel like, um, movies or books like Battle Royale or The Running Man or The Long Walk kind of already had that, that kind of story down about it. It thrust people into intense situations. But I always just kind of disregard all that junk because the thing is that can be used for the mystery genre as well. Well, if you say that The Hunger Games is just a ripoff of this, other type of thing, then I guess that means that, um, you know, the new, mystery novels of today is just a ripoff of the Dashiell Hammett and stuff like that. It's not. It's just a genre, and it's inspired by all that. And so, I just wanted to start out the video by saying that because I am not one of those people, and it just really, really annoys me when I hear that. You know, even here on YouTube, I've seen people write comments like, I'm not going to see the Hunger Games because I don't. I think it's just a ripoff of Battle Royale. Well, I mean, you could go ahead and be angry and think of it like that, but it's not really like that at all. I mean, it's just, um, you know, this kind of story has been used since the days of gladiators and stuff. Mankind, kids have always been thrust into the situation where they've had to fight till the death for entertainment purposes or for redeeming the society purposes and stuff like that. And so I just think it's kind of an unfair thing because, um, you know, but I could go on about this forever, but I don't want to make that the entire video. So the Hunger Games, I already went over a little bit of the plot. Everybody's kind of going over the plot, but everybody knows what it's pretty much about, so I'm not going to go into that. Um, Really quick, I'm just going to go over I think the director of the film, his name is Gary Ross. I think that was the director of the film. I don't really know of anything else he's done right offhand, but I feel like it was really solid direction and the director of photography and all that. I was kind of worried at first because I'm not really the biggest fan of the shaky cam kind of thing. Some of the beginning scenes in District 12 is where Jennifer Lawrence's character is from. It was kind of doing the shaky cam thing for a little bit. I was kind of worried that it was going to get kind of out of hand, and because I'm a fan of the shaky cam, but not like intensely, because it really does make me sick sometimes. But it really didn't bother me all that much. It did bring some of the grittiness of the city or of the little town and stuff, and so, but it did kind of fade out. And some of the fight scenes had it, but it kind of gets the intensity up because when there's a fight going on or something like that, you really don't really know what's going on, and as the viewer, it kind of thrusts you into the first person thing. You're kind of confused and stuff. So I think it adds to it. It took me a really long time to come to that conclusion, but you know, whatever. Sometimes I have different revelations every single day. So, um, well, I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about some of the cast. Well, Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss Everdeen, the main girl in the film, the main character. If I'm not mistaken, the books. I've never read the books. Everybody I know has read the books, but apparently, I guess in the books, it's told like through first person, and I think it's through her. But Jennifer Lawrence was amazing in the lead role. She really brought the passion, and just what she felt the entire time she was on screen, and she really brought the character in. And in real life, she's a like natural blonde. You know, she usually looks really pretty whenever she's in public and stuff like that. So you can't really imagine that kind of person in this role. Which when she was first cast, I did read that a lot of people were worried that she was maybe too pretty and to be this kind of character, but they dyed her hair dark. They really, it looked like she hadn't bathed in like a couple weeks, I think. I'm sure that wasn't the case, but they really pulled that off with all the characters. Even some of the guys that girls would probably like drool over. I mean, all their faces were greasy. Jennifer Lawrence kind of had like these scars on her face, and definitely I could tell that they weren't trying to make the characters look flattering, because that's all you need in this kind of film is to have these characters live in these awful cities, but yet they still have time to put on their makeup and stuff in the morning. But that was one of my favorite things about the film is that they really tried to make it a little bit realistic with that. Josh Hutcherson as PETA. He's the guy from District 12, where Katniss is from, that is also chosen to compete in the Hunger Games, and there's kind of a... Not really, I don't want to give anything away, but there's kind of like a conflict kind of relationship between the two, and you're not really sure what's going on between them for some of the time. But Josh, I feel like he did a really good job. I feel like, though, that any scene that he was in, usually one of the other actors was stealing the thunder, because I'm not saying he was a bad actor, but, you could tell that he's going to eventually be a very good actor, because he was pretty good. We have Liam Hemsworth as Gale, kind of like the love interest of Katniss that stays at home. And I thought that to be honest with you, I thought that was the worst casting in the film. I couldn't stand seeing him in the film. The entire time he popped up, I was like, Miley Cyrus's boyfriend? Like, I was just like, this guy's awful, and he's an awful actor. And I don't know why they chose him. And some of the people I know that read the books, they're like, why did they choose that idiot? Because he really does not come across as, to be honest with you, he just was such a waste of space, I think, in that film. And I know that character is probably a big character in the novels, so I wasn't a big fan of that. Woody Harrelson is Haymitch, kind of like the mentor to Katniss and PETA, played by Woody Harrelson, who is amazing in the film. I love Woody Harrelson. He is a very underrated actor, and so I was really happy to see him in this. And other great supporting actors were Elizabeth Banks, Lenny Kravitz, who really stole the show in every scene he was in. He played Cinna, and he was kind of like the stylist for all the media, like for all the Hunger Games Hunger Games participants, or should I say, what was it that they used in the movie? The words, if you remember, what is it? Blah, 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 what was it? I can't remember. It'll come to me in a second. Tributes. The tributes. He was kind of the stylist for, Katniss and PETA, and he really acted himself. It was awesome. He did really good in it, and I wouldn't mind seeing him in more movies. We have Stanley Tucci as Caesar. He's kind of like the talk show kind of guy in the movie. He's like heavy with the media. And Dr. Hasline, aka Kevin, on my Facebook page put, he wishes that Stanley Tucci had a talk show after watching the movie, because he was, I would watch it as well, because he was really awesome. And so that was definitely a good role. There's some other actors and stuff. I'm going to finish it up with Donald Sutherland as the president. Donald Sutherland is a great actor. In the 70s and 80s, he was really well known for playing random, vicious kind of villains. Not all the time, but sometimes. And so I was really glad to see him in another role to where he is kind of a villain. And towards the end of the movie, he's in charge of this crazy society. And he is a villain. But he's really vicious. And I can't wait for the next movies, and I'm going to read the books too. But, he's a great actor, and I'm glad to see he's going back to that. So, and as you know, the movie's broken a lot of records here in America and worldwide. I think it's already grossed its opening weekend, including the worldwide, I think 200 and something million. The budget was, I think, at 75 million. So it's already made back all of its budget. And so it's definitely going to be made into the series. I'm glad. Another series, I haven't seen John Carter yet, but I really wanted to see it. And, it's based off all the books by the same guy who did Tarzan. And I was really sad when the movie kind of was a flop, because I would have liked to have seen another series, even though if the first movie wasn't all that great. But I would like to see another kind of sci-fi series out there. Hunger Games was a very good movie, very entertaining. Like I said, my only gripes with it was the casting of the character of Gale, and really, the special effects were very good. Special effects are very good. Some of the city effects, though, the special effects for the city when they come into the city, it's really cool. But the thing is that I feel like if they spent like 25 or 30 million more dollars, they could have easily done that with the amount of money this movie's making. Maybe it made it a little bit more realistic and not so CGI, because I'm not really the biggest fan of CGI, but it didn't take away from it. But those are really the only two things that I would see not making it a perfect movie to me. So I give it definitely 4 out of 5 stars. I'm definitely going to see the rest of the series when it comes out. I'm going to read the books ASAP. And so I hope you guys go out and see it. Just disregard any of the negative stuff that you hear about people saying it's, a copy and all that stuff. It's a fun movie, If anything, it actually gets people more interest in that kind of stuff, and people will go out and get movies and books like Battle Royale and stuff that people here in America might not have heard of yet. And so I'm gonna go out and read that book or watch that movie, and so I think it's a great thing. And so, like I've said again, watch the movie and read the books. All right, guys, remember there's 3 ways of doing things: the right way, the wrong way, and the chat way. See ya.